Hey friends, welcome back to Tea with a Taurus. I'm Ashley, and today we're talking about something that has quietly shifted the way that I consume media this year. It all started with a reading challenge. There's a YouTube channel called This Story Ain't Over, and the creator over there had started a reading challenge called the Anti-Brain Rot Reading Challenge. When I first heard that phrase, I laughed, but then I paused because if I'm being honest, a lot of us have a little brain rot. For me, brain rot didn't look dramatic. It looked like playing a video game on my phone while watching TV or listening to an audiobook while also embroidering, scrolling while something else was playing in the background. I was half reading articles and consuming without really absorbing. I was constantly double tasking my media. And while multitasking can feel productive, it was actually diluting what I was consuming. It wasn't like I was bored, but I wasn't fully present either. This challenge centers around three main ideas: building consistency, consuming diverse media intentionally, and forming your own opinions through critical thinking. There are a lot of other rules and guidelines, but those are the three pillars that really stuck with me. And I didn't join this challenge because I wanted a rule book or a guide. I wanted to just slow down, and this was appealing to me. So let's start with consistency. I read a lot. I fly through fantasy and romance, thrillers. I love to read. But consistency doesn't just mean reading a lot. It means reading with attention. So instead of having three forms of stimulation at one time, I've started doing immersive reading sessions, which brings me to something that feels almost poetic. I pulled this copy of Wuthering Heights off of my bookshelf, and it's been sitting on my bookshelf for at least 10 years, if not more, but at least 10 years. And instead of just listening to the audiobook while folding laundry or doing dishes, I opened this copy. I started to write in it, and I was annotating and underlining and writing in the margins and just making notes in this book. And at the same time, I was also listening to the audiobook, but not as background. It was just an immersive companion. And it feels like stepping inside the story or being back in a literature class again, but without all the pressure. I was just enjoying it. It's just been so satisfying. And I've been annotating everything. I didn't stop with just books. I've started keeping an annotation journal for YouTube videos and Substack essays, articles, podcast episodes. And instead of just thinking, "Ooh, that's interesting," I've started writing it down. I stop and think about what stood out. Why did I like it? Did I agree with the writer? Do I have questions? Things that I want to take from it. And this practice has completely changed how I consume media. I'm not just absorbing it, I'm actually engaging with it. I'm widening my own horizon. And another part of this challenge has been to widen what I read. It's so easy to stay in a comfort genre. Fantasy is comfortable, romance is comfortable, but opening this classic that has been sitting and looking at me for so many years, it reminded me that growth sometimes looks like revisiting things that we've avoided. And sometimes the avoidance isn't about the book. It's about the focus required to consume it. The biggest shift that I've seen with this challenge is the doom scrolling. It's decreased dramatically. When I have the urge to scroll, I tend to ask myself, like, am I bored? Or am I overstimulated? And usually I'm overstimulated. And honestly, scrolling doesn't help that. But reading helps. And writing helps. Sitting in the quiet, it helps. Replacing the doom scrolling with intentional media consumption has been so freeing. And I haven't banned social media, but I've become more aware of how it makes me feel. I've formed my own opinion. And this part has been subtle but really powerful, because when I've annotated what I've read, and naturally am forming my own opinions and my own thoughts, you just stop absorbing opinions like they're facts. You pause before agreeing, and you ask yourself, like, what do I think? Why do I think that? Where did that come from? Do I actually agree? And in a world where we are constantly fed hot takes, critical thinking feels rebellious. This challenge reminded me of something. Depth feels so much better than speed. Slower feels better than scattered. One book fully absorbed feels so much better than 3 half consumed. And honestly, it aligns perfectly with my word of the year. Steady. This is steady. Reading, steady attention, steady growth. If you've been feeling mentally foggy, if your attention span feels shorter than it should be, or shorter than it used to, if you're constantly consuming, but you're not reflecting, maybe try this. Pick one book, annotate it, watch one video, and write 3 thoughts afterward. Replace 15 minutes of scrolling with intentional reading. You don't have to overhaul your life. Just choose depth over distraction once a day. Your attention is powerful. Where you place it shapes who you become. So maybe this week we read instead of scrolling. We think instead of reacting. And we engage instead of skimming. And we do it all steadily. Thank you for sitting with me. Go make your tea. Pick up the book. It's been waiting for you. And I'll see you next week.